Good evening. Welcome to the special town meeting of July 3rd, 2024. I'm Mark Salerno, town moderator. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would welcome everyone, and I'll ask the town clerk, Karen Galvo, to read the call to the meeting.
Notice is hereby given of a special town meeting of the Town of East Lyme to be held on Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the East Lyme Town Hall Upper Meeting Room for the following purposes. 1. To consider and act upon a motion to approve a special appropriation of $120,000 from remaining ARPA funds to a new account to be named Parks Improvements. 2. To consider and act upon a motion to approve a special appropriation in the amount of $19,176.67 to purchase 2 new highway plows from CNRE line 32-30-400-700-999. 3. To consider and act upon a motion to reallocate $187,000 from the Boston Post Road Tank Project, account 85-70-007-700-711, and $8,000 from the Well 5A WTP Upgrade Project, account 85-70-004-700-004, for a total amount of $195,000 to be transferred into an account to be created entitled Well 4 and Well 1A-6 PFAS Removal Project to assist in the design, engineering, and procurement of equipment related to the removal of PFAS from East Lyme water sources. 4. To receive communications from the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance with respect to a resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations Aggregating $3,735,000 for various public improvements and authorizing the issuance of $3,735,000 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purposes. 5. To consider and act upon a resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations Aggregating $3,735,000 for various public improvements and authorizing the issuance of $3,735,000 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. 6. To receive communications from the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance with respect to a resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations Aggregating $7,285,000 for various Board of Education capital improvements and authorizing the issuance of $7,285,000 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. 7. To consider and act upon a resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations Aggregating $7,285,000 for various Board of Education capital improvements and authorizing the issuance of $7,285,000 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. 8. To transact any other business proper to come before the meeting, and copies of the proposed bond resolution are on file and open to public inspection at the office of the town clerk. And this was posted on the sign post and on the town website, advertised in the day paper, and recorded in the town clerk's office.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, before we move on to the agenda, I'd like to go over the ground rules. Under Connecticut General Statute 7.6, to vote at this meeting, you must be an elector of the town and must be a U.S. citizen 18 years or older who owns property on the grand list of October 1st, 2023 in the amount of $1,000 more or older. And under number 2, under Connecticut General Statutes 9-360, any person who votes at this meeting who is ineligible to vote or is an eligible voter who votes more than once could be subject to a fine no less than $300 and no more than $500, and prison no less than 1 year and no more than 2 years, and be disenfranchised. Anyone who attempts to vote assuming the name of a legally qualified person shall be found guilty of a Class D felony and shall be disenfranchised. Please do not conduct a dialogue amongst yourselves and address your questions through the moderator. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium and give your name and address for the record. If you are not eligible to vote, please make that known before you speak. You may approve or disapprove an expenditure, reduce an expenditure, but you cannot increase the expenditure. And in the event we need tellers and checkers, I'll appoint the register and assistant register if they are needed. We will move on to item number 1, to consider and act upon a motion to approve a special appropriation of $120,000 for the remaining ARPA funds to a new account to be named Parks Improvement. Do I hear a resolution? We have a resolution. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Jason? Would anyone like to be heard? Okay. Sure.
Just in case there is any questions. Yeah, Dan Cunningham, First Selectman. Yeah, so this was money that was left over from other, opera funds that were used for playscape improvements and water fountains in the parks, restroom enhancements. And so now they'd like to be able to use that money for the maintenance of some of these items. So it'll be used to maintain the athletic renovations, replacement of grills, picnic tables, so other park amenities, keep everything up to a good level of use, so people can enjoy it. So that's what that's for.
Thank you, Mr. First Selectman. Would anyone else like to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to move the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda, to consider and act upon a motion to approve a special appropriation in the amount of $19,176.67 to purchase 2 new highway plows from CNRE line 32-30-400-700-999. Do I hear a resolution?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Would anyone like to be heard?
Just stay up here. Yeah, so these, again, Dan Cunningham. These are for new plows for the public works, and I've seen one down at the shop where they keep the trucks, the public works building, and they're really fantastic. You can alter them in different ways hydraulically and change the shape and configuration of the plow. So it does a cleaner job cleaning the roads, and a safer job for, without ruining some of the infrastructure that's already there. So they're really an improvement. They're pretty fancy, but they do the job, and in the long run really save us money and additional maintenance and I think labor, because they're more efficient. Get the job done quicker.
Thank you, Mr. First Selectman. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I'll move the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? All right, it carries. We will go to item number 3, to consider and act upon a motion to reallocate $187,000 from the Boston Post Road Tank Project, account 85-70-007-700-711, and $8,000 from the Well 5A WTP Upgrade Project, account number 85-70-004-700-004, for a total amount of $195,000 to be transferred into an account to be created entitled Well 4 and Well 1A/6 PFAS Removal Project to assist in design, engineering, and procurement of equipment related to removal of PFAS from the East Lyme water sources. Do I hear a resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second? Do we have a second? Thank you. Would anyone like to be heard? Mr.
Just
Purcell?
briefly again, so this was money left over from the redoing and painting the water tank. That they really did a wonderful job, and they did it under budget, so there was a little bit of money left over. And since the time they worked on the water tank, it was discovered that we do have an issue with PFAS in the water. So we're trying to react as quickly as we can, and we've already started some engineering studies, and this will be some initial design work to be done, so that we can, as quickly as possible, start to work to solve that problem. So there's some money available to do the advanced design work, and that's what it's going to be used for.
Thank you, Mr. Purcell. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is number 4, to receive communications from the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance with respect to a resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations aggregating $3.735 million. Was that received? Just double checking. Okay, I've confirmed with the town clerk that has been received. So we'll move to item number 5, which is to consider an act upon the resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations aggregating $3,735,000 for various public improvements and authorizing the issuance of $3,735,000 bonds of the town to meet the said appropriations and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. Do I hear a resolution?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Slow on the second. We got a second. Okay. Would anyone like to be heard?
I would just refer those that are interested to the handout that is over on the counter, and there is a list of the items that money is being used for, among which roads and bridges, paving, vehicles and equipment, and all the items are listed there for your review.
Okay. Would anyone else like to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. Move the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will move to item number 6, which is to receive communications for the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance with respect to resolution titled Resolution Making Appropriations Aggregating $7.285 million for various Board of Education capital improvements. Did we receive communications?
We did, yes.
We did. Okay, so town clerk confirmed that. Which we will then move to number 7, which is to act upon this. So to consider and act upon a resolution entitled Resolution Making Appropriations aggregating $7,285,000 for various Board of Education capital improvements and authorizing the issuance of $7,285,000 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowing for such purpose. Do I hear a resolution?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Snappy second there. Thank you. Would anyone like to be heard?
I'll let you can do the honors on this.
Just a brief overview. 2 of these items make up over almost $5.3 million of that $7,285,000. And those are 2 roof projects: Lily B. Haynes school roof, as well as the aquatic center roof. Lily B. Haynes, as many of you know, was renovated about 6 or 7 years ago. The roof project was not part of that renovation. It wasn't due to be done at that time. So that's over $4 million in part of this, the capital items. The aquatic center, over 23 years old now, and is in need of a new roof. Some of you have been in there, and it's time to upgrade and replace that roof. Both of those projects, which I think is important for the public to know, we receive 40% reimbursement back from the state on those 2 projects. So that's a good chunk of money that would be coming back to us. The rest of the items on there, a lot of our general maintenance items, some door and window replacements, and some HVAC replacements as well. And I think the items are listed in that sheet from what Dan had mentioned as well.
Thank you, Superintendent Newton. Would anyone else like to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I will move the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to 8, to transact any other business proper to come before the meeting. Seeing none, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any discussion? Usually there isn't. I will move the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.